Hi, I'm Mindy, the natural dyer at Henlia Handmade. Welcome to our little knitting chair chat today. Today I am talking about the Knit Many Together community. But before we jump in, I'm going to show you the progress that I've made on my Weekender Light sweater. So this is, if you haven't been following along, this is my second Weekender Light, and the first one that I made is a gray, beautiful gray version, but I wanted something with more color because I found that I was wearing that all the time, and I just need more color in my life right now. So I used this beautiful heathered pink colorway, and it's actually called Heather Pink. And last week, well, it hasn't been quite a week since I recorded last, actually. But I was just starting my sleeve. My yarn is all tangled up in my cords now, but this is my second sleeve now. I just did one row of ribbing for the cuff last night, so I'm getting really close now. I wove in the ends along the neckline, so those are all taken care of now. I think the only ends that I will have left to weave in will be this cuff and then the underarm ends where I joined yarn to do the sleeves. So I'm getting really close on this now, and I'm really getting excited about finishing it and having it enter my hand knit sweater wardrobe. I'm excited to have something colorful because I don't really have a lot of colorful sweaters. And I mentioned that in my sweater audit video, and I'll add that up above for you if you would like to watch that. But I'm excited to have something really colorful, and it's, spring technically. Today is April 25th, excuse me. So if you're watching me live or in real time, it is springtime. Technically, it's still, icy in the mornings here in Central Oregon, but a nice lightweight wool sweater is just perfect. So, okay, I realized the other day that I never recorded a proper video talking to you about the Knit Many Together community. So what it is, why I created it, and sort of my long-term vision for it. Before I want to dive in, though, I want to mention that I made a fairly recent intention to put out just free weekly content. And I chose blog posts to start me off back in December. And now it's end of April, so I feel like I've gotten into a pretty good rhythm with that, and I'm like trying to also create content for YouTube, and this is the similar or basically the same information that I'm writing in my blog posts. I'm just putting it in video form for you because I realize that personally I love to read, but I don't read as many blog posts as I used to. So, I don't know, I just thought that it would make it more versatile for you, especially if you want to sit down with your knitting. And when I sit down and knit, I'll either pop my earbuds in and listen to a podcast or an audiobook, or I'll sit down in front of the TV and I will turn something on that is pretty mindless and grab my knitting and just, drop into that meditative state. And the key there is something that doesn't really engage my brain a whole ton, so that I can just kind of really reap the benefits of the meditative nature of knitting. So I thought that, if I could make these, 15, 20-minute videos for you, if you can find a little pocket of time in your day to sit down and knit, then, you can pop these on and maybe learn a little more about natural dyes and, sweater knitting and, all the things that I'm here to to share with you right now. So, options. I'm giving you options. That's what I'm trying to say. So here we are, YouTube. And my hope also is with more practice creating these that, they'll be more fun and enjoyable for you to watch as well, and become more natural for me to create. So I've talked a lot about how I'm not super comfortable on video, but I'm working on that. It's becoming easier for me as I practice. So hey, go figure. The more you practice, the better you get at something. So let's talk about the Knit Mini Together community. Your first question may be, well, what is it? The Knit Mini Together community, it's a tongue twister, is an online group I've created to help us meet more like-minded knitters. With Henlia Handmade being such an eco-friendly, focused company, I realized that it can sometimes be difficult to find other knitters in the community, in the knitting community, that really share our passion. So, and it's a balance, right? Because our creating creates waste. It's what it does. But we're also, many of us, trying to minimize that waste. And because we also love to create beautiful things with, many times anyway, most of us, I think, love to knit, but we also love to crochet, and we sew, and we craft, we use paper and ribbons and paints. And, I'm starting to go down a rabbit hole here, so I'm going to file this away for a video for another topic, a topic for another video down the road. But we are crafting and creating creates waste, and there's just a balance. There's a balance of what we can do to help minimize that. So the Knit Mini Together community, I'm going to get back on track here, is sort of my take on a Patreon community. I'm recording exclusive behind the scenes videos for my community to watch, and only they get to see them. So each month I put out a new video for them. And like many creatives with a Patreon community, I'm also offering some other benefits exclusively with your membership. So, because it's fun, and that's what I like to do. Each month I send out a free shipping code for any purchase that my members make at my shop, HenliaHandmade.com. I'll include that link below for you. Members also receive early access to new product launches and collections and sales and any other special events that I run. My community members get first access to that. So where this is most important probably is when I'm offering sales, because I don't typically carry a ton of stock in my shop at any one given time. So when I run a sale, stock runs out quite quickly, typically. So if you're in the community, then you get first access and first access to the stock that I have on hand. So that's a great benefit, actually. Lastly, and most importantly, is our monthly knit nights. This is where we are getting to know one another in a relaxed, no pressure Zoom kind of way. So we chat about our projects, our lives, and just be in community with one another. These are still early days for our community, but perhaps one day we could even meet in person. Maybe. Currently we're scattered all across the US, but I love to dream big. So I'm just throwing this out there. Maybe someday we could host a really fun meetup and meet each other in person. I don't know. Maybe. Down the road ways. Something worth noting about this knitting community is that my intention is for it to be community driven. When you're a member, you can offer me as many or as few suggestions and ideas for topics and areas of potential teaching. You can just offer me as much feedback on that as possible so that this becomes your group. I want this to be your group. So I haven't really designed this to be a learn to knit community because so far people in my community, in the Henlia Handmade community, are already pretty confident knitters. However, nothing is off the table. So, if there's anything knitting or yarn related, dyeing related, it's all, it's all up for potential topics in the future or in the very near future. I've suggested doing a more in-depth how to use natural dyes series, and so far that hasn't been the direction that the community has wanted to go, but I'm always open to sharing more about my process, and if there is ever any interest in really learning, like really getting down and dirty and saying, okay, how do I really do this? I'd love to dive into that with you. But again, this is community driven, so I'm going to go whichever way you want to go with this. So now, why am I charging for this community? Nobody's been bold enough to ask me that question yet. So I'm going to just throw it out there because maybe you're asking yourself that question because I don't know, maybe I would be asking that myself if I was in your position. So the answer is twofold. First, I'm just trying to recoup some of my costs for creating the community. So it does take some money and quite a bit of my time, which I'm trying to value more highly because my time and your time is very valuable. So it does take quite a bit of time to create. So I'm just trying to recoup some money in that for that purpose. Secondly, though, and this is kind of maybe probably the most important part, is I found it's important to have a little skin in the game, so to speak. I don't use a lot of sports references, but when you pay for something, you're more likely to participate, and the participation is what's key and critical to this community. Where maybe, paying for a gym membership isn't the best example. I have found personally that if I am spending some money on something, I am so much more likely to show up for that thing. So, I tried to keep it as low barrier as possible. $5 a month is all it is. And, if you need to sacrifice one fancy coffee in a month so that you can find the money to join this community, I think it's doable. So if you really want to join, there are ways I think that you can do so. So there's just one more thing I want to talk about in terms of the Knit Mini Together community. That is, all are welcome. If you don't have a supportive community of knitters around you, either in person or online, I would just invite you to give us a try. One of the thoughts that continued to cross my mind during the past several months when I was sort of dreaming up this community was that I have been blessed at Henlia Handmade to have met so many of the most kind, loving, just wonderful knitters. And I suddenly realized that I'm the only one that gets to know you. Wouldn't that be amazing if we could meet each other? You guys could meet each other. I think we could just build something really, really incredible. So, the Knit Mini Together community was my solution to that. So I do hope that you would consider joining us. If it does sound interesting to you, check out the link below. I've got that for you. And I've told you all about it now, but if you also want to read the information as well, then yeah, go ahead and click that link and it'll take you to the page that tells you all about the community, basically what I've told you now. And then a link, of course, if you do want to give us a try for a month or 2 months or forever, you're welcome. And if you are just here for the naturally dyed US wool yarn, thank you. Thank you for being here. The link to my shop is down below. If you're brand new to me and to Henlia Handmade, thank you also for being here. I would love to give you a 20% off discount coupon code for you to try out my yarn. So I'll put that link down there below as well. So thank you so much for watching. This video took me a few takes to get down today because I ran into some technical problems. So hopefully I didn't do anything weird like repeat myself too many times, but I do really appreciate you being here. I appreciate you watching. If you did enjoy this, please click the like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Those 2 little things don't cost you a thing, and they really do help my little channel grow here and my community grow as well. So thank you for doing that, and have a wonderfully woolly day.